find things to target at.
This is crazy.
That's a bit. We get a net, get a net. Chatterbait early this morning. Chatterbait. Alright guys, I want to welcome you guys to another episode of Muck City Angler, man. Today, man, we're going to talk a little bit about these chatterbaits. We're going to talk a little bit about these chatterbaits. I love throwing these chatterbaits, especially this time of year. This is springtime. You guys will get a chance to see here in the video, man. We got a lot of vegetation that then grew out. Probably about 4 or 5 feet outside of the bank. So running these chatterbaits outside of these grass lines right now are key. It's still kind of early in the morning, somewhere between, it's 9 o'clock in the morning, a little bit after 9. I got a lot of movement activity out here right now, man, so I may do really, really well. I'm just gonna show you the one I'm using right now. I'm using the half-ounce Chatterbait. This is actually a very inexpensive one. This one right here has actually come from Walmart. This is the Walmart brand Chatterbaits. I just paired it up on a regular padded tail creature crawl. I don't even remember the name of these actual baits, but I know that they're made by Bitter Baits, I think it's called, right there in Okeechobee at Fast Break. So these are just the tails that I like to use, and I also would pair it up with a white swimmer. If I notice right away that the bass are feeding on like shats or anything like that, I go ahead and dip that tail or the tip of those tails in some chartreuse dye, just to kind of mimic those bait fish. But I'm gonna take you guys around this morning just to kind of see if we can catch a couple more. So retrieval when dealing with these chatterbaits is very key. Sometimes you find yourself reeling them too fast. Sometimes you find yourself reeling them too slow. So you got to find out exactly what they're biting on. I caught that first fish on a real slow creek. And what you really want to do, I'm throwing that bait. I don't know if you guys can really tell or not, but I'm throwing that bait probably 4 or 5 feet away from that bank. If you guys can see right here, I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but if you guys can see right here, like right up in there's a drop on where that grass kind of stops at, and I'm throwing that chatterbait right downside that grass line. That's the grass line I'm looking to try and fish here. If I was fishing top water, maybe a frog or something like that, I would probably throw that frog up on that bank and bring that frog back on top of all this grass right here, because the dust, I mean, it's great. It's great. It looks great. Like, it looks like great frog stuff as well. But yeah, man, these chatterbaits are really cool, man. You can pair them up. I'm actually throwing 15 pound fluorocarbon. I have it tied up on a 7.3 heavy fast action rod. It's a Ducket rod from that Ducket series. I have it paired up on a 7.1 gear ratio reel from Bass Pro. That's what I got. That's my setup today, and I'm just casting away, man, and I'm just playing with it, just to kind of see how can I get the best retrieve that's gonna work for me. You know, sometimes you may have to pop it a little bit. Get us out of these weeds over here. And under these conditions right here, man, you get a lot of stuff like this. A swim bait can be very very, very vital in this condition as well. So if I go to getting a lot of that vegetation on my chatterbait blade, I switch it up. And then I go to a regular swim bait, which is basically the same presentation. It's just not bladed, so it'll come through some of this vegetation a lot easier. So there's definitely a lot of vegetation down there on the ground, because every time I hit the bottom, I can feel it. I may need to dip these tips a little bit. A lot of bait fish out here moving, swimming around, man. A lot of bait fish out here swimming around right now. Yeah, sometimes you gotta find out, man. So I threw that bait real shallow up there, knowing that there's a lot of grass, but if I bring it back across the top of the water a little bit, it may work. One just followed it. Another cool thing about these chatterbaits, man, is that they pretty much come through any type of cover. So any type of like thick vegetation, anything like that, that blade will come right through that. The reason why it's getting stuck in this body of water here is just because this is more like that hydrilla, like that, let me see if I can pull something up so you guys can get a better, see if I can bring some from over there real quick. All right, let's try something real quick. All right, let's try something real quick. I'm gonna stay in this area, guys, just because I really do think that there's some solid fish here. I saw a lot of moving around today when I first pulled in. So basically now what I've gone to a KVD shallow diving crankbait. I have a little chartreuse going down the side of it. This water right here is fairly clear water. So having a little bit of natural reaction, a little bit of a natural color on your lure is pivotal for you to catch fish. Match your bait with your water clarity. Very key. Very key. Don't get stuck on throwing a certain color all the time. These crankbaits, you kind of fish them very similar. You can burn them back to you. You can slow them down. You can pop them. You know, it just kind of really just depends on what the bass want. You just kind of keep playing with it until you figure out exactly what that is. And just find things to target at. Just find things to target. Find things to target. Find things to target. Find things to target. That's it. Get the pliers for this one. Find new things to target, y'all. It's a pretty decent one, right? Yeah. See, he got a little bit of those leeches things on him. Pretty decent fish, though. Show you guys something real quick. It's a KVD, shallow diving crankbait I was just telling you guys about. You see that yellow stripe right down the back of that crankbait right there? That yellow stripe is pivotal for the bass that we're currently trying to catch. It's very, very key. There's a lot of bluegills with that yellow body stripe that run really shallow downside this bank line. So I think those things are very, very key to have those while you're out here. I can also do the same thing on a rattler trap as well. Also, I caught that bite on popping it. Got that bite popping it. That's another thing when I was saying about playing with your retrieve. It's important to play with your... Got some trees. I'm gonna let these guys come down through here. Just get these crankbaits, man, and just run these crankbaits. Play with your retrieve until you run across some big ones. Eventually you will.
You got any big ones yet?
Nah, not yet. Maybe pound, maybe pound and a half. They live here though.
Yeah.
Every now and then you'll run into a nice one. Alright, let me give y'all one more tip real quick. Change up one more time. Alright guys, I want to thank you guys just for watching today, man. I hope you guys learned something. We're throwing these chatterbaits and that crankbait earlier. Again, man, I just thank you guys just for tuning in. If you guys want to know more about what rod, what reel, what color lures, when to throw certain lures at certain particular times of the year, it's very, very crucial, man, that you guys jump on YouTube, man, and just look it up. You can type in any time of the year that you're out on the body of water and what colors you should be throwing, what type of baits you should be throwing, and all that kind of stuff. So I'm very, very grateful for you guys, again, just tuning in, man. The chatterbait and the crankbait was the lures of choice today. And I was able to catch a fish on both. So I'm super excited about that, so you guys can see that it actually worked. So that's always cool, man. So again, thank you, and thanks for watching.